We look for that vaginal tenting. We look for the tissues that you can see to be more swollen and plump and open. And we expect that pelvic floor, the musculature, to be soft and lengthened.
Nice.
The muscles cannot be tight for successful penetration.
Or orgasm.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they have to be long so that they can contract.
Exactly.
If they're already in a shortened state, they have no contractile
Nowhere to go.
ability. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that is us.
Yes.
Now, that's as far as like, this is what we expect physically to change on your body during a successful arousal episode.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
So we can also coach them through the process of orgasm and how to maximize that from a pelvic floor perspective.
Ooh, I would love to hear that.
And before we do,
yes,
can I ask you? So I'm curious because you have this other aspect of specialty that totally intertwines with the physicality.
Absolutely.
So can you speak to that as far as desire and arousal?
Absolutely. Well, first, we can't have true physical health without mental health. Right.
Yeah.
And we can't have mental health without physical health. Right. And that, synergy between our minds and our bodies. Right. It's a beautiful, dance between the two. Right. Yeah. And so it's wonderful when we're talking about, okay, these are the physical aspects of what's going on with your body. Right. But then how is our mind impacting that response? Right. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know or recognize that there is a difference between desire and arousal. Right.
Yes.
In our society, we very much link those two words together in the same way we link sex and intimacy together.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's a good point.
Sex is one type of intimacy, right? But there's at least 6 different ways that we can experience intimacy within our relationship.
Ooh,
and that's part of the challenge that we're experiencing within intimate relationships because we are pigeonholing ourselves, as we were talking about before, right? So when we're able to take into consideration that desire and arousal are 2 distinct processes between our minds and our bodies, right?
Yep.
Then we know maybe which one we need to be a little bit more intentional about.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I like that. Like a diagnostic tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So when we refer to desire, we're typically referring to the mental, emotional wanting of sex. And then when we refer to arousal, we're talking about the physical, physiological response to a sexual stimuli.
Yes, that makes sense.
So we can have one without the other, and we can have one before the other.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so one without the other indicates a little bit of a disconnect between our minds and our bodies, right?
Okay. Yep.
And so it can happen in both directions. And as we age, right, our bodies are slowing down. Maybe it's just not responding in the same way. Maybe I'm having some pelvic floor dysfunction where I'm really wanting sex, but then my body just isn't, getting to where it is that I want it to be, right?
Yep.
Disconnect.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, unfortunately, we do have to talk about it in terms of sexual trauma when our bodies are responding to stimulation because that's what it's wired to do, right? But then we don't have the wanting, right? So that's why we feel very much betrayed by our bodies in those circumstances.
Gotcha. So that second one, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're referring to maybe a physical response to sexual stimulation in a body that doesn't feel safe.
Correct.
Being sexual.
Without the desire for it.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So that's why we need to understand that they're 2 distinct processes. My body can respond even if I don't want it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right?
Interesting.
And so that's why even in terms of women becoming self-lubricated, right? Where you were just kind of describing once that arousal happens, right? We start seeing lubrication, but lubrication is not an indication of desire.